Salah Al Masri. I'm founder of Opera Cafe, and I'm here today to talk to you about how the closure of Walton Street has affected our business, and how scary it is to just anticipate that what might happen to our business when we hear the LTN proposals. The closure of the street has significantly made us such an inconvenience to our customers. They have to drive much longer to exit Jericho because of the closure of Walton Street, that they choose now to go to other places, not because we've done a bad job, not because they don't like us anymore, but we just became such an inconvenience for them because they simply just want to go somewhere else. Which would, as businesses, I think that's completely not fair, because we worked very hard to throughout the years to be where we are today. And I feel like, collectively speaking, on behalf of all the businesses in the Jericho area, they managed to participate in creating the charisma around Jericho. And so basically, and even talking numbers, like, despite that, the economical situation is extremely challenging, and it's really hard to be able to just run your day to day. Having that on top, I have no words for it. So yeah, I thought to share that with you, and I appeal actually to your logical business sense to take action about it. Thank you.
Walton Street is the river, the thoroughfare that flows through Jericho, that keeps Jericho alive and full of life. To close it is to close us all down. Walton Street needs to be open at both ends, and the traffic of people, pedestrians, in cars, on bicycles, on electric scooters, on skateboards or whatever, it needs to be flowing freely for us all to live and survive together as a community. Jericho is a community. It needs us all to be on the same page, fighting for the same cause. The salvation of Jericho, the lifeblood of Jericho, it all flows through Walton Street. Keep Walton Street open.
Hi, my name's Jake Humphrey, and I came to Oxford in the 90s to open a bookshop, and since then I've had several bookshops in Oxford, both permanent and temporary, and currently at Magdalen Street in the town centre and in Jericho. So I'm talking to you today because of the barrier which has been put up at the end of Walton Street, which is plastic and ugly, and I think it's been put up there because residents have complained about traffic. Now, I'm sympathetic of traffic being horrible, but at the same time, Jericho is a cool annex to a modern city. It is not a country village, and there's traffic elsewhere. I mean, are we going to close Botley Road? Because the poor residents of Botley Road have far worse traffic than the ones of Jericho. Also, I think it's been done the wrong way. The right way to do this would be to consult with business and local people, and maybe put a plan together that included incorporating Jericho into the city with marketing and signage, and it's also caused problems, sort of knock-on problems, like people trying to deliver, like me, trying to deliver books to my shop, have to go down narrow roads that aren't really designed for me. And I was actually shocked when I saw it, because I'm shocked that someone in an office can just close a road like that with no thought of the people whose livelihoods depend on traffic. It just, if I was a tourist coming to Oxford, it's a sign saying Jericho's closed. That's just appalling. And it's supposed to be a beautiful city that we live. It is a beautiful city in which we live, and to have that plastic barrier blocking the way to the coolest annex that we have is just a crime, a crime against Oxford, and I'm appalled that it's allowed to stay there.
Hello, I grew up locally, but have also either lived or worked in Jericho for a good 35 years, so I know it well and have seen it evolve over the years. I'd like you to cast your mind back a year and a half to before the road was closed. Jericho businesses were mostly thriving, while other streets nationwide were struggling. Jericho was bucking the trend, and most of the shops and restaurants were busy. It was a fantastic and busy neighbourhood. This all changed when Walton Street was closed and most businesses had a noticeable downturn in turnover and footfall. This was for a full 8 or 9 months before COVID then hit. For anyone who doesn't know Jericho well, there are 40 plus shops employing about 280 staff, full and part-time. From what started off as the council wanting to stop car drivers cutting through from Woodstock Road to Botley Road, which is fair enough, good idea, where we now find ourselves is that the council wants to make Jericho a low traffic neighbourhood of some kind. For most of the businesses, less traffic would mean fewer customers. An extreme version of an LTN would be terrible news for Jericho businesses. We need car drivers coming through in some form, pulling up on their way home, popping into Londis for a pint of milk or a burger from Papa's, that kind of thing. It's a big proportion of our business which we've lost quite a lot of since the road closed. People haven't adapted and learned to go round. They're just not coming. Jericho is a special case and normal LTN installation rules just don't apply. A true LTN and a shopping neighbourhood are incongruous. We're a periphery shopping neighbourhood with very little local footfall. On a winter day in Walton Street, it's pretty much empty of pedestrians. Very few are going to arrive on foot or bicycle to use our shops as a destination, from elsewhere on those days. But we have been able to bank on customers arriving by car. Through lockdown, there have been customers using Jericho a bit like a market town. So they park up somewhere like Observatory Street where there are 5 free 1-hour parking spots, nip into some flowers from Daisy's, some veg from Manos, that kind of thing. And then they go back to their cars. People also want to arrive by car to pick up their takeaways, which has been a big part of people's businesses during lockdown. And that's what's kept those places going, the ones that are still open anyway. So we're a local and a destination shopping area, and mess around with the parking, the free customer parking, our parking, which is invaluable, and the access, and we lose a lot of those customers. We've heard that full pedestrianisation of central Walton Street has been discussed. I can tell you it's not popular among most of us in that part of the street. Outside daytime seating space would actually help some businesses, though not all of us. But we could get this in another way by narrowing the road, extending the pavements, and still allowing a single lane of traffic through. This is a plan we've been working on with our friends at Jericho Connections for a while. Although it's worth saying that there are a lot of residents living down there and they aren't happy about the idea of having restaurant tables beneath their bedroom windows, so it would have to be just a daytime thing. We have been in touch with some people in Orford Road in Waltham Forest, which has already been pedestrianised. It's a kind of narrow street in North London, and they very much say that it's not the utopia it's being portrayed as. There's plenty to say about why it wouldn't work in Jericho. If anyone wants to ask me about it, I'm very happy to tell them why. And also, I'm not going to apologise for being angry about the fact that an LTN of some kind is being imposed on Jericho businesses, especially during the worst recession in 300 years. None of us signed up for this when we took on our expensive leases in Walton Street. A lot of us are feeling worried and afraid. This is very close to all our hearts. We sympathise, actually we really do, with the residents who've had extra traffic on their roads. But for us, what's at stake is our actual livelihoods and our life's work. We really hope the council consults with us in a meaningful way and truly works with our businesses. We're the ones who are taking the financial risks. It needs to be very much our decision. We need to be involved. We really hope that we can have a proper collaboration and come up with a business-friendly traffic plan. We do think this is key to a good outcome. So the business owners are asking for the council's help to help safeguard our special shopping neighbourhood, so we aren't left with a ghost town of shuttered up shops. It is possible to pull this back, and we hopefully can come out of COVID and looking towards a good future with the council and the Jericho residents being our champions, not being against us. Thank you very much.
My name is Richard from Daisy's Flower Shop. I've been in Jericho 33 years. I've got a few things to say generally about the traffic schemes proposed in this part of Oxford. Generally, I feel all these so-called schemes are yesterday's solutions to yesterday's problems. In 5-10 years' time, there will be more electrification, pollution will be much less of an issue. And the only thing we need to worry about, I think, is the amount of traffic. So I'm in favour of traffic circulation. I like the roundabouts by the Saïd Business School and the King's Arms pub. But I think the closure of Walton Street is nothing less than cultural vandalism, and I mean that sincerely. Independent bookshops, Cowboy Mod, the record store, can't survive much longer, I suspect, along with COVID as well. And it seems to me that we must have an arterial road, such as Walton Street, open. It's the third largest road going north from the centre, and to close it seems just mad. From my own point of view, I need to deliver bouquets in every part of Oxford at short notice. So if there's going to be a low emission zone, I feel commercial vehicles must be exempt. I have weddings to set up right in the middle of Oxford on a Saturday, and to be unable to drive where I want is bad enough now with the high street being partly closed. But if I can't drive where I need to at short notice, my business will suffer. We're not just a backwater here, we must connect with the rest of Oxford, which is why I'm totally in favour with the solutions proposed by Jericho Connections.
I first came and worked in Jericho in Walton Street in December 1981. So I've known this street a very long time. And to be honest, COVID aside, this is the worst it's ever been. The life here is gone. People are less communicative. People are less friendly. People are so caught up in their own lives and their own little bit of desires that they're missing the whole community. They're missing the fact that it is a one place. We're like a little village here. So many things could have been done so much sooner and better. But you know, when we did have all of those cars driving through, like when we did have the traffic coming through from when St Giles was closed for the fair, other people got to see Walton Street. Other people got to see the businesses that are here. Now, nobody comes along here. Nobody. And COVID is a huge part of that right now. But that is not why people are looking at the closure of this street. It's a £580,000 piece of tarmac with no cars on it, you know, for the good of private residents up there. It is not for the good of the businesses. It is not for the good of Jericho, you know. I'm trying to get everybody to be positive about this wonderful village that we have here. Closing the road is just going to kill more and more of us. I am struggling here, been here for 25 years, and with this COVID, I don't know that I'll even survive to the end of another year.